If you thought the Mall of America was gigantic now, just wait a couple of years.
Plans are in the works to make it even bigger, but does that mean better? Randy's here with more on the MOA expansion.
It's the biggest mall in the nation, but apparently it isn't quite big enough. The Mall of America has plans for an expansion, but not just adding a wing or two. We're talking about doubling the mall's size, if you can believe that. The news comes after the legislature approved $250 million in tax breaks to help pay for the $1.5 billion expansion. The new additions will include hundreds of new stores, theaters, hotels, and maybe even an NHL-sized ice rink and a water park. To give us some insight into this behemoth expansion is Dave Brennan. Dave's with the St. Thomas University's Institute for Retailing Excellence. Dave, 20 plus years ago, a lot of people thought the mall that size would not be sustainable or viable. Can something that massive double in size and continue to be successful, or could it turn people off? In other words, is there a risk in messing with a good thing?
Well, I think for some people, the current Mall of America is already too big. But for younger people and people that are coming from a greater distance, they're looking at it as a destination where they're going to spend a lot of time with a wide variety of different kinds of shops, but entertainment and other kinds of venues.
It's really become a tourist destination. Do you think the owners of the mall, Dave, maybe feel it's a matter of growth and improve or become irrelevant to a certain degree as a tourist attraction? You need a facelift, in other words, sometimes to keep people interested.
Well, I think it's a combination of things. Retailing and entertainment are evolving all the time. And so they need to keep up with what's happening in the real world instead of basically relying on what they currently have.
Besides, only Disney World in Orlando has more visitors per year than the Mall of America, 45 million versus the mall's 40 million people. Officials say this expansion could bring in an extra 20 million people a year. Is that, and this is a question I think the state of Minnesota and those in Bloomington will be asking, is that area prepared to handle this kind of traffic when you have that kind of influx? What's your thought on that, Dave?
Well, I think if you look at it now, 40 million visitors a year. If you add 50% more, another 20 million, that is going to add to the congestion, and there may well have to be some modifications. But some of the new events, particularly the office building and in terms of the two hotels that are proposed, those folks won't be driving around as much. They'll be staying at the mall, so to speak. Mm-hmm.
This idea of adding big box stores on the north side of the mall, does that seem like a recipe for success to you, Dave, or a bit of a gamble both for the mall and those stores? Some big box stores, as you know, haven't had all that much success in recent years, and Best Buy comes to mind when I say that.
I think that's probably one of the most questionable parts of the proposed expansion. I don't know that big box stores, unless they're really unique, would make it. I think Bass Pro, as an example, has been suggested in the past, and something like that may well work. But if we're talking about a Target, a Best Buy, I don't think that those type of stores really fit for the Mall of America, even in the expanded version.
All right, Dave, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit because we haven't broached the specific question. Do you think it's a good idea, this major expansion? So I'm going to throw that at you. What do you think?
I think it is a good opportunity, not only for the mall, but from an economic development standpoint for the Twin Cities and certainly for Bloomington. So I look at this very positively.
All right, Dave Brennan with St. Thomas. Dave, thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Randy. Take care now.